Are U.S. banks on the verge of collapse, and should you pull your money out of your bank? And Joe Biden's new budget request does nothing to strengthen America.
It's time to do a podcast.
Welcome to Pod Bless America. I'm Jim.
And I'm Dan.
So Sheriff Lamb, welcome.
Dude, I got to bring you two on as my hype men all the time.
All you have to do is just go along. Just put your mask on. Just because I might not agree with it, that doesn't mean I lose my right to parent my kid.
Leave the jokes to me, Chief. This is what gets Jim fired up.
It's not communism that's going to destroy this country. It's not socialism that's going to destroy this country. What's going to destroy this country is apathy. Don't count on anybody coming to save you. It is time to save ourselves. Daniel, this week, and I'm not sure how Huntington is doing, Huntington National Bank, but I think they may have collapsed because I looked at my checking account and I don't have any money in it. So I'm pretty sure that Huntington Bank has collapsed. I probably should have pulled my money out before that.
Well, Jim,
it was only $9.80, but that was my money.
It's safe to say that you have no idea how much money we have in the Pod Bless America checking account. But I could send you a statement and show you that we have 30 grand in there, and you'd be like, 30 grand, wow, right?
All right.
So you'd be happy about it.
When do we start getting paid?
But the only time you would call me a liar about it is if you were like, hey, Dan, I need 15K of that. Okay. Then I'd be like, shit, right? So we're living in this era of printing this money, and all the money is only backed by the faith of you handing me 100 and me trusting that it's 100. Now, 100's not buying us what it used to buy us back in the day. I always think about the $100 bill that I got from my really good friend's mom on our wedding day. And it's in a picture frame. It says, here's a picture of an old man. If you need his help, set him free, and then use this for a wedding picture frame.
I need his help.
But I kept it. I still have that $100 bill in the picture frame. I didn't do the math on how much I've lost in that $100 bill since 2008, but it's special to me, right? But this whole system, ever since the Federal Reserve. Now today I'm going to try to talk about the Federal Reserve as a private company. I don't want to call it the Fed because I don't want you people to think that when I say Fed, I mean federal government. It was the biggest gangster move they ever could have pulled when they named the company, because everybody assumes, even people that work at my bank, think that the Federal Reserve is a federal institution, and it is not. It's a private company. So it started with Silicon Valley Bank, and it started with another bank before that. And what was happening with these banks is they were very irresponsible. When they were getting free money back in 2018 before COVID, they started, instead of being really diversified with buying real estate and buying bonds, and they put a bunch of money. They put $10 billion in treasury bonds. So the treasury bonds are almost at zero. So that would have been a smart move if you wanted to just put $10 billion away and never get much of a return on it, but eventually get your $10 billion back. The only problem is, like Silicon Valley Bank at the start, there was a time where they had a bunch of money coming in. They had $49 billion in deposits in 2018. And then in 2021, they had $190 billion in deposits. Now, that's a good money of deposits until people want their money back. Can you cover it?
Well, it's in it to what I'm reading. Mm-hmm. And listen, man, I told you about my concerns with this episode. I know nothing about banking, and I'm not going to pretend I know anything about banking, right? But this is the same shit as when you're at work, just sitting around talking with your boys. Mm-hmm. Right? We're going to hopefully bring up some good points for you here.
Yeah.
But my understanding is there was a whole lot of risk assessment that was not being done with these, right? These banks had no idea what their risk really was until all of a sudden they woke up one day and they were like,
there's a run on the bank.
Shit.
Yeah, we got to cover a bunch. And they sold a bunch of their treasury bonds to only get back about out of their 10 billion, I think they got 2 billion back. So they took a loss, right? And that's like that, and that's when they're coming out now and they're saying we have unrealized losses. Unrealized losses just means I fucked up. Unrealized losses means that, you know, if you bought your truck now that you have outside and you paid $8,500 for that truck, and now you're trying to put it on the market today and someone's only going to give you $2,200, that's a loss that Joe Biden's trying to tax on you right now for the maximum loss.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll get to that later. So I think there is a side to this, because what they're doing to these, what they call crypto banks. I mean, a lot of them weren't real crypto banks, but Silicon Valley was one of them. What was the other bank we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, that Credit Suisse or
that was one of those ones where I really think that they are competition for the federal government. Now, let me paint you a picture. Jim. I think you might like this one. What if the privately owned Federal Reserve comes out and says, "Listen, guys, the government's backed this. It's this new digital currency for America. We're going to call it Independence Coin." Right?
I'm in.
You're in already?
$9.80 in my checking account. I'm spending it all.
Right. So let's round you up to $10.
All right.
We're going to round you up to $10, Jim.
I'm a patriot.
And if you take your $10 that are probably not going to be worth much tomorrow if you don't make this choice right now, and you'll get 100 Independence Coins for your $10. Are you in?
Well, that seems like a pretty good deal. I'm in.
You're in.
I'm
right?
in.
Super easy. That's how they're going to do it. The reason we didn't have a run on the banks like we did with the Great Depression is because we use our bank and online banking as just moving currency around. So nobody was scared about not being able to pay their electric bill online because shit's in there. So they were probably hoping and trying to lead us to this Armageddon of banking so they can make all the banks, just maybe 3 banks, with the privately owned company Federal Reserve as the puppeteer. And then they want to get everybody on a coin. So what happens when they got you on digital asset, Jim?
They can control that digital asset?
I mean, so if you say something on a podcast that they don't like, what's going to happen to your 100 Independence Coins?
Yeah, but really, they can do that now.
They did it to some people that we did a show on.
Who's that?
The truckers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they froze all their assets. Yep.
But what can't you freeze? Cash in the mattress, coins in the backyard. Now, I get wanting gold and silver, right? I think that society collapses tomorrow. I'm going to be able to get some of Jim's food off him for a handful of 50-cent pieces.
Are you, though? I mean,
if it happens to be the currency that we're dealing in, that you need to try to get something because you need some dip. You're really hankering for some dip or some chips. And someone says, you got to pay me in 50-cent pieces. And you're like, really want some chips? You got hell of a good dip? Ain't had that in so long. Listen, I'll give you like half my ration of whatever company you buy from who's not sponsoring this show. And you're going to come off whatever you can for whatever you can get. If you're buying gold now and all of a sudden you buy 10 ounces of gold and then they send you a certificate that says you own 10 ounces of gold, you don't own shit.
Right.
You might as well buy Bitcoin. So, but if we buy real gold and you have a bar of gold or an ounce of gold and I come to you and then say, I want some hell of a good dip, am I supposed to like shave some gold off for you? What's it going to come down to?
Yeah, see, I don't get all this. I don't understand it. Because I'm not walking around with gold bars in the collapse, right? I think ammunition is going to be worth something.
Yeah.
I think 22 rounds, maybe 22 rounds will function as quarters. 9mm rounds will function as 50-cent pieces. 223 rounds will function as $1.
Dollar.
Right?
Yeah.
You want a hundo? That's a 50 cal round, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I get that. I just don't know, man. I understand what people say about silver and gold, and that's where you want to have your money, and you just keep your silver rounds over here, and one day you'll need them, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm buying it.
Well, you're not buying it. So that's the thing. The way that I see it happen and the way I feel about it is that they are trying to do the same thing to the dollar that the government and the EPA did to coal-fired power plants and gas plants. Let's regulate the shit out of them until it's out of business.
Well, this banking thing seems to be contained, though. We got 3 banks that are down.
It didn't work.
You think it was a coordinated thing?
Well, I can't say that, but they were probably hoping to make it a bigger disaster because they're trying to pass a $6 trillion budget right now because they want to probably pass they're running out of things to spend their emergency $2 trillion package on. So bailing out America again. What was the last one called? There was CARES Act.
There was what was it?
Save us from inflation bill. And all that shit. And what it do? Absolutely nothing. They need to print more money to cover the losses, Jim. Let me give you the credit card analysis, right? If I gave you a credit card with a $10,000 limit, you'd be like, yeah, cool. Dan gave me $10,000 and no interest. You'd max it out. Then if I came to you and said, Jim, your $10,000's maxed out and there's going to be some fees on the back end pretty soon if you don't pay it back within a year. But I got you another card, bud, for $20. And you're like, shit, I'm in. You had $20 or $20,000 card, but now you're in debt for $30. Do you care? I keep handing you this card and it keeps going up every time. What are you going to do?
I'm probably going to cut the first card up, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm, what am I going to spend 10 grand on?
Call it 100. Take some zeros off. I'm just saying that's what they're doing. They're kicking the can down the road. They're raising the debt ceiling. They're printing more money.
So what do you think, Dan? Was this Trump's fault? He's the one who rolled back the regulations.
Well, it's everybody's fault.
Everybody's?
Everybody from the Bushes up. Yeah.
You can't talk about Grandpa Bush like that.
Grandpa Bush, other Bush, Bill Clinton.
What about Reagan? You think Reagan had anything to do with this?
I think Reagan saw it coming, said something, and they probably tried to shoot him.
They did try to shoot him, actually.
That's right.
They did.
Yep.
They actually shot him.
Right in the gut. Right?
Under the armpit.
Under the armpit?
Yeah, they got him in the armpit.
Right.
But you can't kill Ronald Reagan. I mean, Alzheimer's got him, but you can't kill him.
You can't kill him. Time will kill him. Father Time. Undefeated.
Father Time got him, but you ain't going to kill Ronald Reagan, bro.
Right. So, what was really interesting to me when I was doing research for this show.
Well, I'm serious, though. How much of Trump rolling back? Because that's what you see in the media, right? You see all the leftist media saying this is Trump's fault. This is Trump's fault, right? Bring back Dodd-Frank. This is Trump's fault. So was it?
Well, I didn't do enough of the research on the root cause because this was a runaway train before he even rolled down the escalator.
Yeah.
When you start printing trillions of dollars, like I'm so over it. If you think about the budget that we're going to talk about in a little bit, if you want to talk about just $1 trillion of $100 bills stacked up, you probably can't see the top of it. It goes to the clouds. And then you want to stack 6 of them or 5 more right next to each other. That's a lot of money, right? We have to get control of that because when the Federal Reserve gets its interest back, when someone finally pays them back interest, they're supposed to take that money out of circulation and burn it in the incinerator. Because if we have too much volume, it makes it the dollar worthless. Is that what they're trying to do? So Biden signs an executive order that says everyone will get paid back by the FDIC. Even if it's more than $250,000, which the FDIC says it will cover if you're FDIC insured. Biden signs the executive order that says they'll pay even more than that if they have to. They'll cover you. But who's covering? The taxpayer. Can he legally do it? Is this another one of those executive orders that he's going to get rolled back on where they're like, sorry, bud, there's no authority there. It's got to go through Congress. That's the purse.
So there's a whole lot of heavy hitters out there that that are saying the Fed should have stayed out of it, right? The federal government should have stayed out of it.
See,
the Federal Reserve should have stayed out of it.
That publicly owned company.
They all should have stayed out of it, right? Mm-hmm. One of those is Ken Griffin from Citadel.
Ken Griffey?
Ken Jr. Right.
Baseball player.
He got done hitting home runs, and then he said, listen,
Fed, you publicly.
No, Ken Griffin from Citadel.
Not Peter Griffin.
I was going to do Peter Griffin. I can't do it. I can't do I was going to.
I digress.
I was going to try. But he's talking about this and he's saying, look, we shouldn't have done anything, right? This was a great lesson in risk mitigation. Nobody's out anything. Nobody's really going to be out anything here. This is for the federal government to get involved in this. Every other marker is strong right now. We would recover from this. There is no reason at all to bail them out. There's no reason at all to give them money. Now, I don't understand what's happening with First Republic. Is it First Republic? Where all the banks came together and ended up giving them $30 billion or something. Did you see that today?
I did not.
All right, never mind then. But, now this is a guy who knows, and he's saying, look, let it roll. There's no reason at all for us to get involved.
That's how a free market economy works.
He's saying let it roll.
Because then people like Silicon Valley Bank that doesn't have a diversified portfolio and does stupid shit, and then the person who's supposed to be in charge of making sure they don't do stupid shit is out doing stupid shit.
And I guess my question is, if they're not diversified and these businesses are putting in hundreds of millions of dollars into them, again, now we're at risk analysis, right? Where are those companies? Roku came out and said, "Oh my God, we're like $465 million into SVB."
Yeah.
Okay. Well, where were your people that were looking at this saying, "Hey, this is not a good thing for us," right? They got all their eggs in one basket here, and if this goes under, we're going to lose all our money. But they didn't. They just went full steam ahead. And now and I'm pissed off about it because I hope Roku doesn't go under because I use Roku.
But they'll just get swallowed up by somebody that the government paid to take off their hands at pennies on the dollar, and everyone just washes their hands.
Although it's a big deal, but I guess that's only like 26% of Roku available cash or available assets that they have. But I mean, you can't just blame it all on the bank. If the bank is really if they're really that under diversified.
Yeah.
You got to blame it on the investors too, right? The investors who are putting all their money there and not looking at the bank to see where that money is and see how secure that bank is and how solvent that bank is. You're telling me there's not one risk manager out there that couldn't look at this and go, eh.
I'm sure they did. I'm sure they saw the writing on the wall on a lot of things. Okay. So the FDIC, I read that the FDIC only has about half the cash to cover the $264 billion in deposits at the failed banks.
Well, I think the FDIC only insure up to $250,000.
If you're a normal dude.
Oh.
Right? So the FDIC only has half the cash.
Does the FDIC, if Huntington Bank goes under, am I going to get my $9.80 back? Will they cover that?
Yeah. You'll probably get paid last.
All right.
But they'll cover that.
Okay.
But that's my question now. If FDIC only has half of the $264 billion, right? So that's $132 billion that they have for coverage. How do they decide who gets what?
I don't know the answer.
I think, this administration will be like, low-income families and people from diverse populations are going to get the money first, and then our billionaire buddies, and then millionaires, and then average Joe. That's how this administration would do it. But then we, not the federal government, we are on the hook for the other $132 billion. So there's a long game here.
How are we on the hook?
Because we vote in the bastards that vote on, yes, we're going to go through with whatever legislation comes out of this. When they come and go, listen, we're going to put the brakes on this thing and stop these banks from failing. We need to come up with something. And they already did it. Okay. Remember that private organization I was telling you about that's kind of had their hands in our money for a little while? That the Reserve Bank that has the word federal in front of its name? Yeah. They've come up with a BTFP, Bank Term Funding Program. Okay, this is going to get a little boring for you, but I just want you to know what this thing does. It was created by the Reserve of the bank with the word federal in front of it. That is a private company. This bank will offer loans up to 1 year in length to eligible borrowers. Eligible borrowers will pledge U.S. Treasury agency debt and mortgage-backed securities and other qualifying assets as collateral. The collateral will be valued at par or equal to the outstanding face amount of the collateral. There are no fees to participate in the BTFP and no penalties for prepayment. The loans are made with full recourse to the eligible borrower beyond the pledged collateral. The Department of Treasury will make available up to $25 billion as a backstop for the BTFP. However, the reserve, that just happens to be federal in name, stated that it does not anticipate needing to draw on the backstop funds. So what this bank that calls itself federal is saying is, we'll give you money, but you have to give us all your assets.
I don't understand why.
They're getting their assets 10 cents on the dollar.
But why?
And then if you don't pay it back within a year.
Why is the federal government involved in this?
They're not. That's a private bank. They just said, hey, Uncle Sam, we want to do this because we think it'll help. And Uncle Sam was like, hey, you got it, bud. They just do whatever they do. That's why people go from being federal.
Is there still talk about the federal government bailing them out?
There's always talk about the federal government.
Well, I thought they came out and said that. I thought.
You know why they didn't have to? Because enough people didn't panic. Yeah. Enough banks didn't fall. U.S. Bank didn't fall.
You know, I was talking about Ken Griffin, and this is what he said. Here's his quote: "Is that the U.S. is supposed to be a capitalist economy, and that's breaking down before our eyes. There has been a loss of financial discipline with the government bailing out depositors in full." So, yeah, he is saying, look, man, we are strong. The banking industry is strong. Let them take their losses, right? Let this be a lesson.
As free market capitalism should be.
Correct.
So I sent what I just read to you to a buddy of mine who is independently wealthy. We'll call him independently wealthy, right? And I just told him, hey, read between the lines and tell me what this says. So right away, he said, all this printing money is going to turn us into Argentina and inflation will go crazy, right? Then he said, they will use all these confiscated assets, his words in quotes, because that's what it ends up being. They're holding you hostage. Listen, Jim, if I told you, hey, your house is paid off, it's worth $200K. I know you're hurting right now, and I'm going to give you $80K. No, maybe not 80. I'm going to give you $40,000 cash. Give me the note. You got a year to pay me back. If not, I'll hold the house. I don't want the house. I just want you to be good. And then
thanks, Dan.
Then November comes around and you start calling me and then I don't answer. I'm like, I'm about to make this move on your house, right? So my independently wealthy buddy said that they'll make sure they use all those confiscated assets to make sure they have a cushy golden parachute for themselves. So just like when you see city, state, or federal entities getting into business, whether they're owning properties or whatever, that it's the water starts getting murky. Murky.
But it appears that Signature Bank is one of them. And it appears that most of these banks all have one thing in common.
They had a lot of crypto.
So crypto is collapsing. Now.
Crypto is not collapsing.
I don't know.
Okay, biggest one, Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. What's the price right now?
I have no idea because I don't follow it because it's fake monopoly money.
Sure. Yeah.
Is that it? That's the whole. Yeah. That's your whole response.
Yeah. Because you have no faith in it.
I don't have faith in it.
I hand you 100.
How much crypto do you have?
I have zero crypto.
My man.
Right? Zero crypto. Now, there's been times where I was like, you know what? I think Litecoin's at a price where I can buy Litecoin, and then when it gets to a certain price, I'll sell it, and I can pump and dump. And the bottom of Bitcoin religiously has been 15,000. So if you have a lot of money to play with and you see Bitcoin get down to 15 and you know you're selling at 23, you can make basically whatever $1,000 a share.
This is where my ADHD kicks in bad, right? So I don't care. I got ADHD. I'm not afraid to admit it.
It's not the only thing you got, you son of a bitch.
That's true too. Stop. This is going to go off the rails. So when you start talking about crypto, and we've had people here that try to explain it. Mm-hmm. I've had people on the phone that try to explain it. And my fucking eyes glaze over every time. As soon as they start trying to explain it, I'm just like, I don't hear a word you say.
I do the same thing with religion.
Yeah, exactly. You're like the Peanuts teacher to me right now. You're like, I get it.
Yeah.
I have whatever. All I know is crypto has never made sense to me. I know there's a lot of people out there that believe in it. Mm-hmm. When I see banks like this collapsing because of their crypto investments.
But that's bullshit.
Well, that's all I need to know.
That's bullshit because you would be saying like Dogecoin crashed down negative everything and Bitcoin is trash and Litecoin is like, they're still going up right now because there's so much uncertainty in the dollar.
I don't know. Well, let me ask you this.
The problem was they bought too many U.S. fucking treasury bonds.
What do you think about the Dow
going up?
Gaining 300 today? Because obviously the markets are not worried about these three banks getting their shit pushed in.
I think that it
Let me just say real quick. Good friend of the show.
Okay.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah.
Every now and then he comes across a bottle of whiskey that he doesn't like, right? And he calls me and he's like, hey,
I got another one.
I got this bottle that's garbage. You want it? And I'm like, hell yeah, I want it. So this is actually the second one. The first one was some kind of corn. I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was fucking fantastic.
That's the stuff that you went to.
Not mellow corn.
Not well. Okay.
No.
And not the
no,
one
it's not mellow corn.
No,
mellow corn's not fantastic. It's absolutely horrible, but I love it. It's nostalgia. I love it.
It's your hillbilly brew.
Yeah, I love it. So he calls me and he's like, hey, I got another bottle. It's garbage. I'm like, I'll take it. So he brings it over and it's called Broken Barrel Whiskey. All right. Never heard of it before. And I believe it's made, so it says made with broken oak staves. I believe he's a big Scotch drinker, and I think this is made by a Scotch distiller.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Isle of Peat, limited edition, a collection of American whiskey finished in Islay Scotch barrel staves. I got to tell you, he's 0 for 2 on his perception of shit whiskeys.
But it's everyone's got a different taste, right?
Oh, I agree, but this is fucking good, man.
Okay, so
I'm just saying. What, are we done talking about this?
No, I went through a Scotch phase when I was like from 18 to 26.
Scotch is rough. I can't do it.
But for some reason I just liked it, and I used to play poker with a guy.
Did you like the smoky, the hard?
Yeah, like it worked for me. You know, before I got into whiskey and then I got into bourbon, and I just started like I hated tequila my whole entire life. I'm starting to warm up to it a little bit.
Well, you got the Alka Keurig.
I got the Bartesian.
You got the Bartesian.
The Keurig for alcoholics.
Yeah.
And that thing has been, it's just friends come over and they're like, I want to see it. And
no, I know. I get it. I want to come over and see it. You've invited me. I'm just busy. I got shit going on. I got
ADHD.
I got shit going on. I got PUBG tournaments to play.
Oh my God.
Hey, before we get
about that
too
later.
far into anything else, I just want to give a shout out to Fox's Fired Up Flags.
Look at that bad boy.
He made our flag in the back here and does amazing work. If you need a flag, I mean, he can go small, he can go big, and he's making other stuff other than just flags. You can check him out on Facebook at Fox's Fired Up Flags. Please give him a look. At least go look. If you're interested in something, just give him a look. And
what was really
what
cool,
are we going to say? Are we going to, you know what? Should we speak for him?
No. I'm just saying
Fox's Fired Up Flag will make you a 100 by 200 foot flag. So it'll take up your entire, like bigger than your garage door.
Okay.
All right.
All wavy.
Yep. All wavy. And it's going to be carved out.
Yeah.
100 foot by 200 foot flag.
And he will
actually pay you $400 to order it from him.
But you got to call him.
You have to say "God bless America."
Yeah.
We're just kidding. Don't do that.
In Cantonese.
You have to say it in a perfect dialect. Cantonese in a perfect dialect. If the dialect's not perfect, you don't get the deal.
Then you owe him $400. No flag. So here's what was crazy.
We're the worst at ad reads.
Here's what's crazy about the Facebook thing.
Yeah.
Like that video of us posting this, I had no idea it was going to go big.
Well, he shared it. He shared it a lot.
He shared it, but it ended up getting like, it went wild. It got over, I haven't checked it lately. It was over 10,000 views, right?
Yeah, it went crazy.
Right? We've paid for advertisement and got
and actually lost views.
And actually lost
We had 1,500 views.
Right.
We paid for an ad and we're down to 800 all of a sudden. I don't know what
my child's teacher at school was she was like, hey, look what I found on my phone. And then my kid's got to be like, oh, there's my dad on the internet.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen,
so that happened. Hold on, I'm not done.
Oh, bitch.
So then all of us hold that thought. So then all of a sudden, I get that reel from you one of your latest reels, right?
Okay.
And it was like, congratulations, 1,200 views, and it gives me like the fireworks, and I got to see your ugly ass again. And I'm like, you're gonna show me that and confetti, 1,200 views, but I haven't seen them give me one shout out about getting over 10,000.
But I wonder if it was because it was 1,200 organic versus 15,000 from shares and everything else.
From going viral?
Well, but you're not.
I mean, it's not viral.
It's not organic views. So I wonder if that's what they're counting as organic views.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
Let me tell you, though, you want to talk about shadow banning, and we'll get back to all this. Well, no. You know what? We'll move on. Are we done with the
We are
banking
not
stuff?
done.
Shit. This is so fucking boring to me. I hate it. Listen, though. Jonas Scholes. I was going to do him at the end, but we'll talk about Jonas Scholes. We had him on last week. If you can go on Amazon right now and you can order his book, Common Sense for a Dying Nation. It is, and this is no bullshit. We're not getting anything for selling his book. He's not paying us to do this. I believe in this book. It's called Common Sense for a Dying Nation, and it is a blueprint to saving this country. And it's not counting on politicians to save it, right? This book tells you, as a citizen, as the one who actually holds the power in this country, how to take your power back. All right. It is an amazing read. It is a short read. Get this book and read it. Read it twice. Read it 3 times. Highlight shit. Talk to your friends about it. Loan your copy out. Make sure you know who you loaned it to, because we all have those friends. You're going to loan it to them. You're not going to know where the book is. And then you're going to put it on Facebook and be like, who did I loan it to? And it's crickets, right? So make sure you know who you loaned it to, because we all have those bastard friends. But anyway, so Jonah puts a post up where his episode goes live with us, okay? And he puts this post up and he links our episode. Now, Jonah's posts were all getting hundreds of likes and comments.
25, 30 comments.
Yeah, every
8
post.
shares,
every post.
right off the bat.
Every post. Every single post.
Yep.
He puts a post up, links our show. Fucking crickets.
I liked it.
I liked it.
You liked it.
That was it. And then finally, I commented on there under the Pod Bless page, and I said, welcome to our life.
Yeah.
You go from hundreds and hundreds of likes and engagements to nothing because you put a link up for Pod Bless America.
Right. And he was probably on the list. And then when you add us on the list, it's like putting Dick and
yeah, exactly.
Boom.
He's on the list here, and then we're on the list here, and then you put us both together, and now we're up here.
And now we got the shaft.
Right. So you will never ever convince me that there's not shadow banning still going on with Facebook. Facebook has decided that we are way too right for them, that we are way too conservative, that we're bigoted, that we're hateful, that we're racist. You
need to stop.
Who?
You.
Why?
With all your bigoted, racist propaganda.
Dwayne Green shared our post with him in it, with our episode.
Yep.
And he said his post on it when he shared it, his status on it was, as the resident black conservative, I agree with this message. And I'll tell you what, we need to have Dwayne back here because I like Dwayne, man. And Dwayne,
we'll have him get on a random episode, not even about culture.
Yeah, exactly.
Just have him in.
We'll have him here to talk about banking.
We should have him in on this one.
It'll be me and him. We'll just be sitting here playing like fucking shit. What was that game we used to play in fucking high school or middle school with the fucking coins? Did you ever do that with the nickels?
I didn't even have coins back then. I was poor.
You remember Pogs?
Yeah, I'm old enough. I'm old enough.
All right. You know what?
I did a Fonzarelli. There was this thing at work that I hit to make work. Like boom, and then it worked. And
all right.
And then I was like, I just Fonzarelli'd it, but the guy that I was working with was like, I'm sorry,
what?
who? I'm like, oh God.
Is he alive? Henry Winkler?
I think so.
All right. So are we going to finish up with the banking?
Yeah, I just have a few more points to make.
God damn.
Okay.
I don't even care. If Huntington's not affected, I don't care.
But if
I suffer from apathy.
And we don't have $30,000 in the Pod Bless America bank account.
Well, that's too bad because I just sent you a Venmo request for $22,000.
I want half, Eddie. So,
fuck.
They're saying that unless the Fed prints more money, interest rates has to go up. When I was at Independently Wealthy Buddy's house, interest rates were not going up as high as they should when they raised interest rates last year. We were doing a project at his house, and he was watching the TV, and he was like, look, they didn't raise the interest rates anywhere near what they should have. Stock market jumped because they just made a move, and stock market's just like we saw today with going up 300 when the world's on fire around everybody, because it's going to take a little time, right?
But it's not.
It takes a little time.
It's on fire with these 3 banks. Listen, I don't know who contained it. I don't know if the Federal Reserve contained it.
You mean the private company that's not federal?
Yes.
Reserve? Okay, yeah.
No, I'm saying Federal Reserve.
Don't you fucking
What do we want to call them? The Fed?
No, we definitely don't want to.
What do we want to call them?
The privately owned kind of Federal Reserve.
You know who you are? You're like the fucking. You're like the fucking chick I talked about.
Why do you say F so much? Stop cussing. You're going to get us demonetized on YouTube.
You're like the chick I talked about on my live or my reel, who wants to name the International Women's Conference like the gay bi cross dresser. But listen, no, but it is contained. So why is it contained? I don't know, man.
You're wrong. Let me tell you why. If you let me go, if you let me go,
these 3 banks.
Let me tell you why.
I haven't seen anything else.
Remember how I was talking about?
Yeah, you know more than Ken Griffin. Whatever.
Yeah.
I've reached out to Citadel, by the way. And if Citadel sends somebody over here.
Citadel in a video game like Mass Effect 3? I think it is.
Oh, my God.
That's a throwback game for Xbox.
Do you have an Xbox?
Xbox 360.
You don't have one?
No.
Pod Bless America should buy you a Xbox One so that we can play PUBG together.
Dude, I can't.
Listen, I'm telling you right now also, anybody out there
that wants some of that smoke,
who wants some of this fucking smoke.
Stop saying the F word.
God damn it. Anybody out there who plays PUBG, I'm always down, man. Look, just hit me up. Hit me up with your gamer tag.
No.
Send me a message on Pod Bless. Yes.
No, you can't. I need him focused.
Send me a message.
He will not focus or answer a text
That's
from
not
me
true. That's
because he's playing PUBG.
It's a great game.
He's got issues.
It's a great game. All right, go. I want to get into the budget.
So the interest rates should be double what they are.
Yeah.
We should be back to 1970s levels.
Okay.
So we can slow down the economy because we're printing too much money.
Yeah.
Okay. So the FDIC reported that the total of unrealized losses, and unrealized losses is what I told you that Silicon Valley Bank did when they bought $10 billion of 0%
I'm with you.
treasury yields, right?
Yep.
The unrealized losses at the end of 2022 was $620 billion.
Fucking dude. That's not a real number.
That's unrealized losses on banks alone.
That's not a real number.
That's almost three-quarters of $1 trillion.
Yeah, that's not a real
So
number.
this is the tipping point. When this gets to a number that Congress is going to have to get together, and if it's a Democrat or Republican in office, I don't care. They're going to go, we're going to pass the Save America from the Banks Failing Act. Which
remember, whatever they name it, it's actually the opposite.
But it's what's going to get us to the independence coin, Jim. And if they feel like you're really not on board, then your $10 in the bank, they're going to be like, Jim, for your $10 of American money that's going to be worth shit tomorrow, we'll give you 1,000 independence coins.
You know what? We should talk.
And now you're like, 1,000? I'm going to be a thousandaire.
Bitch, who are you pointing at? Who are you pointing at all aggressive like that?
I'm just saying. I'm about to make
you want to
rich.
see this viral? You want to see this video go viral? Point at me again. This fucking video go viral.
You're going to pull the pistol.
I don't have one. I'm drinking. I don't bring one.
But you get what I'm saying? They're gonna keep going. The number that they're gonna make to where even someone like me goes, okay.
Well,
I got money, and if I can get this crypto dollars at this money,
you know what we should do?
I'll be ahead of everybody else.
We should do an episode on crypto. Crypto. So God, it makes my head hurt. We should do an episode though on digital, either banking, whatever, right? Because there is a large contingent of people out there that are saying, look,
I don't carry cash.
But there's a large contingent that are saying, look, here's where this is going. Mm-hmm. There is eventually going to be a social credit score. You are going to only be given so much money. And you saw it happen to the truckers, right? They couldn't buy fuel. They couldn't buy whatever. They froze their assets.
Right.
It's conspiracy theory to me. It's crazy because this is America. This is the United States of America, and that can't happen here.
Right.
You know what else can't happen? Everything that's happening.
Yeah, it's not supposed to.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So last thing.
And I reached out to Jeff
Foxworthy, the conspiracy theorist. Don't even say you did, because I called his ass today too, and he didn't answer.
Hey, it's Jeff the Conspiracy.
Yeah, blew us off. We might need new conspiracy theorists. We're taking applications now for a new conspiracy theorist. If you have conspiracies and your name is not Holly, go ahead and give us a call and we'll talk about it. We'll see if we can get you on.
So remember how when we talk about
She's gonna be so
remember
pissed.
how we talk about my one buddy, we call him SB?
Yeah.
When I saw that guy that I was telling you about at the bar, he was like, and when you guys say SB, I know who the fuck you're talking about. I was like, that's my
He
guy.
gives you knucks. He's like, fuck yeah, dude.
So the last thing is that I even got this from CNBC. Okay, Jeff Cox from CNBC said that Moody's cut the U.S. banking system rating to negative now, citing rapidly deteriorating operating environment. And that's what I was going back to.
Moody's cut it to what?
Negative. It used to be neutral.
What's our credit rating now?
I don't know.
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
Just look it up real quick. What the U.S. credit rating is. I'm just wondering. I haven't heard about it for a while. Let's move on. Let's move on to Joe Biden's budget proposal. Where are we at?
Just AA.
Double A. So we're down from, I think it's triple A is the highest, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that our credit rating, if you were running a used car lot and the United States of America came in here to buy a car from you, you're not, there's no buy here, pay here shit. You're not giving them a car. You're going to look at what their liabilities are versus what they're bringing in. And you're going to be like, nah, sorry, ain't nothing we could do for you.
Right.
Here's a longboard. You know?
Yeah.
There's no way that's a AA credit score. There's no way. Who gives the United States credit? Why would you? I mean, Jesus.
Because we're printing the dominant currency right now.
Okay, but we're flooding the market with fake currency, basically. It's not, you can't just keep printing. You can't put it on paper and say, this is the money we have. It's not the money we have. And if China alone were to liquidate all their U.S. currency and all their U.S. debt, we're done, man. They flood the market with that. We're done. We're done. U.S. currency tanks.
Yeah, but
we're like what's the one that's is it? I don't know. It's South America, I think, somewhere. It's one of them. Like their dollar is worth like $1 million US.
Yeah, that's the one. One of my buddy was saying Argentina.
Huh?
Argentina, Venezuela. I mean, you can go through all.
No, a million of their dollars is worth $1 for us.
Yeah.
Like you go down there and buy a mansion for fucking $50,000. Crazy. Oh. Anyway, AA my ass. So Biden administration, Joe Biden went to Congress with his budget request, right? Now, the thing to keep in mind with the budget request is it's dead. There's no way that gets through. But what it does is show you again what their agenda is, what their thinking is, right? He's telling you when the enemy tells you what their plans are, you listen to them.
Right.
You don't just keep taking this stuff, and vote him back in. He's telling you how he wants to destroy America. These are the things he does. This is the things that his administration does. And when they tell you how they want to destroy America and you put your head in the sand and you say, that's the problem. So his budget, this is a wish list. This is what, in a perfect world, Joe Biden wants, right? And here's just the highlights, all right? So Joe Biden in his budget, more spending, more debt, okay? So over a decade, the budget envisions a combined $185 trillion in additional spending above the status quo. That reaches an unprecedented $10 trillion of spending by 2033 alone. It is it's unbelievable. When you look at his budget proposal and how much he wants to spend, $4.7 trillion in net tax increase. All right. Now, it still allows debt to grow faster than the economy. So put it back into your life, right? If you got your credit card you were talking about, and you consistently spend $60,000 more a year than you're bringing in.
Swipe it like it's hot.
Right. Hey, I got this free card. Beep, boop. Beep, boop. Beep, boop. Right? $60,000 more than you're bringing in. Mm-hmm. How long can you last? You'll probably lose your house within what? I mean, foreclosure will probably start within a couple months, I would guess, right?
6 months at the most.
Not the U.S. government.
Let's just keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling, bro.
That's right.
Keep it rolling.
For national security.
Right. This is his budget. Mm-hmm. This is his budget.
Sure.
And I don't remember. What's the last balanced budget? Can you look that up?
Wow.
The last balanced budget that we had. I think it was under. One? God, I almost want to say Clinton, but it wasn't Clinton, I don't think.
Wow.
What the hell happened there?
The last balanced budget.
Yeah. The last time that this country actually had a balanced budget.
They're going to be like Obama.
No, definitely not Obama. If it was Obama, I'll kiss your ass right here live on this camera. If it was Obama, I'll kiss your ass. Please don't be Obama. Please don't be Obama. Please don't be Obama. Fuck. Shit. Was it Obama? God damn it.
The U.S. has experienced a fiscal year-end budget surplus 5 times in the last 50 years, most recently in 2001. When there is no deficit or surplus due to spending and revenue being equal, the budget is considered balanced. That was George W. Bush.
So the last time we were balanced with 01 with Grandpa Bush, right?
No, that's W because that's 9/11.
2001. Oh, yeah. Okay. So under George W. We were balanced.
Under Dick Cheney at the wheel and George W.
All right. So Biden is going to sit here and he's going to talk about things like Medicare and Social Security, and he grandstands on that, right? I'm going to, nobody's going to, by 2033, Social Security, bankrupt.
Bullshit.
Bankrupt.
You sound like the people that say, like, by 2029, there's going to be no snow on the mountain caps. And
but in projected, the way it's going and the way they're spending, there is no way they can maintain. There's no way Medicare.
What year?
2033.
So that's 10 years from now.
Sure.
Right.
And that's what they look at with this.
But now we're going to lose a bunch of boomers off of that. 10 years from now, a bunch of the boomers aren't going to be collecting.
Don't talk about my dad that way.
I'm talking about my dad. I mean, trust me, if anyone's going to stick around.
I can't believe your dad's still alive, bro. Your dad's lived a tough life. Your dad was fighting and shooting and shit. Your dad's lived a tough life, dude. My
dad's got COPD, Parkinson's, and diabetes, and still, I'm still helping.
Got the diabetes?
I'm still helping him build guns.
Shit, dude. Dude, your dad, when your dad calls you, you always take it. Now, I'll say that. I'm impressed by that. You never, no matter what we got going on, if your dad were to call you right now, we would stop this podcast so that you could talk to your dad.
Yeah, that's my guy.
No,
I'm his only son.
For real. I told you that time.
I take pride in that.
Listen, man, right? I told you I was working.
If I had an only son and that son of a bitch didn't answer the phone, I was working. His ass.
He came off the pits and fucking turned on the center ridge in front of me all over the fucking road. I ran the plate. I'm like, I got to stop this motherfucker. I ran the plate. I saw it was Dan Wilkinson. I'm like, and senior.
Yeah.
I saw it was Dan Wilkinson. I'm like, turned right off. I'm like, Godspeed, Mr. Wilkinson. I didn't even fuck with that guy, dude.
Yeah. What's he going to be? 77 this year.
Yeah,
but like you said,
I think my dad's 79.
Tough life. He did a real living. He laid floor for 40 plus.
Yeah.
And then
how's his back?
His back is good.
Whew.
Right? His knees were fine. He knew how to lay floor. He's a stud. But age caught up with him. He smoked them non-filtered Camels for too long. But he sure misses my mama, I'll tell you that. So shout out to him.
Right on.
I see it in his face every day.
Oh,
and that's why.
sure.
And that's another reason why I can't not answer. And if I miss his call on accident because my ringer's off, I feel like a failure.
Well, you know what I always feel like? Like if I miss my dad's call, I'm like, God damn, this is it. He's on the floor. He's last breath. He's calling me.
I'm
like, shit, I got to call him. I'm calling 911. I'm like, you got to get to my dad's house.
Yeah.
Not my dad, though. He's probably going to live to be 140.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Dude, I'm telling you.
He might start another career somewhere.
Exactly.
He might draw another retirement from somewhere.
Like I sit back and I'm like, well, when my dad goes, I get the inheritance and I'm like, who am I kidding? I'm going to die before my dad, bro.
He's burying you, bro.
My dad's getting my inheritance. Shit.
Anyway, back to Biden's bullshit. So you wanted to know when
$4.7 trillion in more tax hikes, right? Now remember, nobody under 400,000 is going to get no tax increase, right? Well, let me tell you how that works out. $4.7 trillion over the course of a decade, because that's what they're looking at. So 2033.
Okay.
How much do you think that is per household, Dan?
I don't know. Tell me, Jim.
Go ahead and guess. How much do you think that's going to cost you over 10 years?
What's the number again?
4.7 trillion.
Oh, man. Shit. 270,000.
Oh. God, way to take my thunder, bro.
Yeah.
No, listen, it's all households. So it's $35,000 that you're going to be out. You're going to be out. Now, that doesn't take into account the, like the Trump, when Trump rolled back taxes, the breaks that he gave, it doesn't take into account all those expiring, because you know the Biden administration is not going to renew those. Right? You
mean like they did the insulin where they're like, no more insulin.
Yeah,
and then they pulled it back out.
Joe Biden's like, insulin's only $35 a person now. And then they go back to Trump like fucking 5 years ago, and he's like, insulin will only be $35 a person. It was crazy. Like, took Trump's plan and took credit for it. It was crazy.
Okay.
Now,
continue.
I want to give credit where credit's due. Daily Signal did a great job on this, right? I'm getting most of my facts, most of my stuff here from the Daily Signal. They've got an article there. If you just Google Daily Signal, and then when you get there, go look at 8 things you need to know, 8 things Biden, and it'll pop right up. So what, and this is one of the things they say, is by their logic, by the Biden's logic, they do not consider the Trump tax breaks expiring to be new taxes, right? But it is, because you haven't had them for how many years? But now all of a sudden, and it's just like now, how many people, have you done your taxes yet?
No.
Neither have I.
That's about a week and a half away.
I always turn mine in like April 17th, just as a fuck you. I'm like, nah, you're not the boss of me.
Yeah.
Fucking IRS.
I'm going to owe more taxes this year than I have
sure you will.
ever in my life.
Sure you will.
But that's my fault.
Why? Oh. That was Cabo. What?
My fault.
I'm just kidding. Dan didn't go to Cabo.
Feeling cute. Might take the year off.
Feeling cute. All right. So here's the other thing. Here's the other problem with taxes, right? So Biden wants to nearly double the tax rate on capital gains. All right. So that means if your parents give you a house, they die, give you the house. They paid $40,000 for that house. That house is now worth $440,000.
If you flip a house, if you buy a house for 80,
yep,
put 80 into it.
Yep,
right?
Flip it, sell it for 320.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, whatever your
So that's what capital gains is.
Cut it in half.
If you
have to own the house for 3 years, or is it 3 years or 2 years to not, one of those, to not qualify for the capital gains tax. But hustlers don't wait like that.
Right.
You're going to have to turn into a rental.
And same thing with your parents, right? Your parents have a $40,000 house that they paid cash for back in the day or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you've got it, and now it's $440,000.
Yeah.
And you turn around and you're like, well, I already have a house. I don't need another house. I'm going to sell it. They have just doubled the tax you're going to pay on a $400,000 gain. Mm-hmm. And the federal government is going to steal your money. That is his budget. That's what he wants. This is the stuff. He's coming out and saying it.
But this is also why rich people borrow money and never make
rich people
profits.
always use other people's money, man. Right. But this is the stuff, man. That
but it's even deeper than that. They want to do unrealized gains. So you get dad's house, and he paid 40 for it, but it's worth 400. They're like, Jim, pay your fair share on that 400 that you're going to get.
Fair share is big for them.
Okay, keep going.
No, you're right. Mm-hmm. You're right. Mm-hmm. Fair share is big for them, man. Don't get in that tax bracket.
It says here, President Biden's fiscal year 2024 budget outlines several major tax increases that would bring U.S. tax rates far out of step with international norms. Do you think that's good for the country?
For what?
If you're bringing the U.S. tax rate far out of step with international norms, right?
Well, you look at the corporate tax rate now. I mean, we are on par to be, I read somewhere, we are going to be in I don't know. I shouldn't say it. You know
Okay,
what? We're not a news. Nah, fuck that. We're not a news organization. I think it was somewhere. I mean, we are in like one of the top 2 or something. I mean, it's ridiculous for how much we charge corporations to do business here. Mm-hmm. It's insane. Now, Trump,
Right.
say what you will about him, knock that down. Businesses were coming back, right? They were like, we can make money here.
And that's the thing, right? If you make $50 million next year, if we make $50 million next year, there is no doubt in my mind that.
Who, me and you?
Yeah.
Oof.
Right.
Tough though.
But if we made 20 million, there's no reason I am not putting 10 million in the bank for taxes.
Oh,
Find
for sure.
out that with all my write-offs, it's going to be 8.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
And then there's going to be people like, well, you still made 10 million. Do you need 10 million? Maybe you should have paid 15 million in taxes and only had 5 million. Eat shit. Listen, it's already bad enough. I used to see, I think we talked about it on another show. There was a rapper chick that when her first year came out and she did her first taxes and she probably owed a bunch of money because she probably spent like she didn't think she was going to get taxed at 40-some%. And then she's like, what am I getting for this? Wait a minute. And it's like, hey, welcome to the real world. But the billionaires, like we just said, they play with other people's money. They borrow money against their real estate holdings. They play with that money because it's not taxed. You can see any video. If you watched one video on a reel, you'll get 30 videos on a reel. I assume your reels are a lot of fishing. A lot of guys casting a little bit, catching fish, because then you watch them.
I have that.
Yeah.
You know what has popped up recently?
Columbia War Machine.
No.
Oh.
In my reels, and honest to God, I'm not even kidding you. Like, I turn them off half the time. I don't have anxiety. I can watch things that, I mean.
Did that guy that tried to parachute off the rock ledge and ended up getting his parachute caught?
Nope. No anxiety, right? I watch Fall. You ever see that movie?
No.
It's the chicks who climb up to the top of the cell tower. It's like 1,000 and some feet cell tower.
Yep.
Ladder breaks off. They're stuck up there.
They got
no anxiety.
They got no cell service.
Oh, they didn't. They didn't. They had to like drop their phones. They had to put them in their shoes and shit and hope they didn't break. They had to drop them to the bottom. So yeah, no anxiety.
How ironic.
No anxiety. No anxiety.
Okay.
You know what brings me anxiety? Mm-hmm. These freaking
there you go.
Cave videos. These guys.
I saw you comment on that.
Did you see that?
Dude, and that's weird because you have anxiety on that, and that's my happy place.
Oh my God.
Dude, I will slither my way
Dude,
into
that guy is like, I am climbing through this cave. Okay, I got to stop talking because I can't breathe. And he has to like let his air out just to get through.
Yes.
No way.
Yep.
There is no saving you. If you get stuck in there, it's not like somebody is up top
to pull
who's
your
running
legs out back.
or who's running this ride who's like, all right, we got to dig them out. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. You're dead. Dude, there are literally people in those caves
that have been in there for
forever.
A millennium.
Right. They die and they're just like, well, that's where he is.
Yeah. I mean,
you would do that?
And I always
you're
say,
bullshit.
I always say
you're
this
bullshit.
Too.
You're lying. You're lying because there's no cave in front of you. I want to take you to a cave that is literally 18 inches high and make you crawl through it.
I will.
And I'm not talking about some cave like we make it here in a parking lot. We can save you.
I'll do it.
I'm talking about a cave 500 feet underground.
And if there's one where I can get an oxygen mask on and swim under to get to the other one,
you're a
sliding
liar.
through, I'm doing that too.
You know what? You're a big, okay, tough guy.
Now, the one where you may call bullshit is when I was younger, when I learned about Vietnam,
those guys.
I was like, if
those tunnel rats?
If they needed a tunnel rat, I would have probably been like, I'm your guy. Until I get put in front of the tunnel to be the rat. And then be like,
Too late. You already talk shit.
But
to get bit,
I'm going, dude. I'm going.
No.
And now
way.
I'm not the size of I'm not a jockey. I'm not, 5'4", 130 pounds like I think the tunnel rats were.
God,
but
my chest is hard. I can't even breathe right now.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I get excited. Like my heart rate will probably go up. Like I'm excited to do it, try it. And then hopefully someone can pull me out if I get stuck.
No way. God, I watch those videos. You know what? I'm going to share one. I'm going to share one on the Pod Bless page.
Okay.
So you guys know what we're talking about. I'm going to share one of these caving videos, and you let us know. Would you do it or would you not? And don't talk shit, right? Don't act like, I'm a big tough guy. I would do it. think about the real life ramifications of this. Think about you getting stuck in this fucking, no way, bro. That's crazy. Crazy.
Dude, but yeah, it's always been a thing of mine. I could climb the tallest tree when we built tree forts, and I would be on the limbs that probably shouldn't have supported me. I'll go the extra mile, so I will. I'll do it. And if anyone wants to let us know about a place where we can try it, so I can put the GoPro on and shut this up, then I'll do it.
Are we not swearing anymore?
Well, I'm just trying to keep it low because there's a number that you got to hit on YouTube, and you're already past it. I learned it from listening to Mr. Beast.
Dude, that's who I am.
I know.
You either accept me or you don't.
What I've noticed they have been doing on YouTube videos is when they cuss, instead of spelling out fuckers, they'll put Fuggers.
Yeah.
So when you read it, it sounds like what they're saying.
Should we have Mike start bleeping us?
No. No.
Listen, we are who we are. Oh, but we need to monetize.
You see why I'm conflicted?
So, all right. So you're willing to get in a cave?
Yeah.
I swear to Christ, this summer, this spring, let's go.
I'll find one, dude.
No, I'll find one. We'll go down to Kentucky.
And go to Mammoth Cave where it's all giant.
Yeah, exactly. Where you're just walking through, you're like, "What's up?" Nope. I'll find some people, man. We'll do a video from there.
Yeah, just have it loaded up.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Moving on. What his budget does not do. He does not. He does not give the military any love. Right?
What do you mean? They're not getting enough?
They're not getting anything.
No, we got to give it to Ukraine.
Well, we got to give it to Ukraine. But listen, you know who is giving their military something? No. Who do you think?
The Republican House?
No, China.
Oh.
Right? So, and we'll talk about this. I haven't done enough research on it. China just elected Xi Jinping or whatever.
He won?
Again.
Was it a close margin?
No, it was
did he win
unanimous.
Did he win it like at night? But like
no, it was the middle of the day.
3 or 4 keys.
And it was like 20. It was like 2,900 to nothing. It was ridiculous.
It wasn't like 4 key states.
No. No, he has put himself in place now to be the ruler of China until he dies. While they are increasing their military budget, while they are building the strongest military in the world, we are decimating our military, right? China is the threat now, and we are not keeping pace with them. The Biden administration has now, basically, the Pentagon would incur a loss of $9 billion under this budget.
Got to cut somewhere.
But you know what? Let's do transgender training in the military, right? We're going to spend money on that. But instead, you know where we're going to get that money? We're going to shit-can this contract for Reapers.
Well, Michigan beat Ohio State
Wait, what?
In how much money they spent on diversity, equity, and inclusion. Michigan beat Ohio State by like $3 million.
Oh, I believe that. Should we? Let me call Mary real quick. Let me call my sister. The other thing, what else do you think that Biden doesn't? His budget does not address.
Social Security?
Nope.
Medicare.
Well, we talked about both of those.
Okay.
You are correct. What else?
Tell me.
Securing the border.
Oh, that's right. I heard it was secure though.
Who said that? Trump was trying.
Well, like he's not going to he put some money down there, right?
Well, so the budget includes $865 million for U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, which is a fee-based agency, to process the increasing asylum caseload and the total pending backlog when the administration refuses to charge even a nominal fee for asylum applications and encourages more asylum fraud by the masses illegally crossing our southern border. There is a lot more. You need to go. You can look up his budget. If you go to the White House, you can look up his budget and oh man, we're out of time. You can see it for yourself. It is absolutely disgusting.
Here it says they'll create a 25% billionaire maximum tax to tax unrealized capital gains of high net worth taxpayers.
Which is basically a roadmap to stagflation socialism, right? Which is what they want. That is what they want. When the enemy tells you what they want to do, this is what you need to listen to. It's whatever. All right. We got to go. We've been here too long.
Yeah, I mean, I want to give a shout out to the dudes at Lawn Kings in Ridgeville. A couple dudes, the Lawn Kings.
Hold on. Stop for a second. Just give me a second.
Are you looking for their paid advertisement?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay. Okay, well, newsflash, they did not
Yeah, I don't
sponsor the show, but there are a couple of dudes that I went to school with who work in my neighborhood. They take care of a lot of people. They're good dudes, and every time I see them on the streets, they're talking about the show and how much they like it. They want us to continue to do it. They every time it drops, they're listening to it. So I want to give them two dudes a shout out. And if you need work done, you're going to call the Lawn Kings. All you got to do is Google that shit.
All right. Last thing I want to say is if you're not following the White House Facebook page, you should, right? Because if you like
Satire,
this is the place to go. So we've got here on the White House Facebook page, their verified page. I'm just going to read it.
okay.
The Biden-Harris administration launched the America the Beautiful Challenge, leveraging $1 billion in private and public investments to support locally led conservation and restoration projects across the country.
Okay.
Listen,
Linda.
you can't put lipstick on a pig, right?
No?
How about if we spend that $1 billion?
On Ukraine?
Not on Ukraine.
Sorry.
How about if we spend that $1 billion on reapers? How about if we spend that $1 billion on the military? How about if we spend that $1 billion to secure the border?
Ukraine's border?
Our border.
Oh. The border with Canada?
This is the problem with this administration. Let's beautify the country so that everybody forgets what we're fucking up, right? So that everybody forgets how fucking miserable we are here, how we're failing, how this country is failing. Again, common sense for a dying nation. You want to see how to save it? Go buy it. Amazon. I'm telling you, you're not going to regret it. Dan, what else? You got anything right now?
Yeah, I do.
What do you got? Because we got to go, man.
I figured there's one good thing about inflation that nobody's talking about.
What's that?
That gas prices are so high that coronavirus stopped traveling.
This is our new outro. We got to give Madison Rising credit. It is by far the best rendition of the Star Spangled Banner you will ever hear. I talked to the guys at Freedom Square today, and they agreed. You remember at the Super Bowl, Chris Stapleton
Yes.
did the Star Spangled Banner. They said that was the best rendition they had ever heard
Okay.
until they heard this. I swear to God. Right hand.
Shout out to my child that got me this.
Who?
My youngest.
All right.
You got me that. She said it's for your podcast. That's right.
Let's play it.
lines. What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets rattling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the fray, and the home of the brave? Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight to rename the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save this land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the
Welcome to Pod Bless America. I'm Jim.
And I'm Dan.
So, Sheriff Lamb, welcome.
Dude, I got to bring you two on as my hype men all the time.
Oh, all you
Get
have
along.
to do is just go along. Just put your mask on. Just because I might not agree with it, that doesn't mean I lose my right to parent my kid.
Leave the jokes to me, Chief. This is what gets Jim fired up.
It's not communism that's going to destroy this country. It's not socialism that's going to destroy this country. What's going to destroy this country is apathy. Don't count on anybody coming to save you. It is time to save ourselves.